Okay, in this video, what I wanted to talk about, if this is a protein specific template that you're going to be doing, I'm going to simplify it for you really easy. So basically what we're going to be doing is focusing on protein for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's going to be your template. That's going to be your number one goal, is to making sure that you're having that at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I'm going to just make it easy and give you some examples of what you can do. What I do in the morning, and just think about breakfast just means breaking a fast. So if your breakfast is at 12 o'clock, then you're breaking your fast. There's a few things that I always like to recommend. I kind of like to have my template of maybe 3 or 4 meals that are go-to, and I just alternate them. One is going to be a protein powder, a protein shake. I use Pure Paleo Protein by Designs for Health. They have chocolate, they have vanilla, they have plain. The plain one has no stevia in it, so that you can customize it the way you want. I like to just mix it with almond milk or coconut milk, so there's really no very low calories, very low fat, and carbs and so forth. So I just mix it, and I add about a cup of like berries, like blueberries or strawberries. So basically, here's one. This is what it looks like. And I can always have that in the middle of the day or for dinner if I'm on the go somewhere. So I just wanted to give you that idea for breakfast. And number 2 would be like eggs, like 3 or 4 eggs in the morning. I know that sounds like a lot, but we want to make sure that your protein intake is pretty high. We're shooting for 30 to 40 grams at each meal. So this by itself already has, this one here is, I want to say it's 21 grams. So we're a little bit short, but I'm going to show you ways that you can kind of supplement so that you're getting your amino acids, because proteins, you want to have the full amino acid profile in there. So that's a bone broth protein powder. There's also some pea-based ones. I don't recommend, whey is great, but if you're a female and you have thyroid issues, it's going to downregulate your thyroid, so it's not a great choice. There is a brand that I've been using for years in the past, it's J. Rob's, and the amino acid profile in there is pretty high, so that would be great. So if you're a guy, if you're a female that doesn't have thyroid issues, low functioning thyroid, then that would be another option, or pea protein, okay? Another thing that you want to look at is like breakfast. We sometimes have, like I said, 3 or 4 eggs, and I always have like some sausage. This is a great brand. It's Applegate brand, and they're all pretty clean. It's humanely raised, no antibiotics. So I really like using this, adding it to my breakfast meal. And I also add some bacon as well, one or the other. So there you go. Those are some breakfast choices. Then here's another thing that I do is hemp hearts. You can mix like 3 tablespoons of this with some, like a cup of, I would use like a cup of almond milk or coconut milk. The unflavored one, of course, doesn't have all the sweeteners in it. Then I put it in a mason jar, and I'll throw even a little bit of chia seeds. If you don't know what chia seeds look like, it's like this. And I put some fruit, like maybe a cup of blueberries, and I'm always going with berries because of the low sugar content. Then I just mix it up, put it in the fridge, and then I have something for the next day. You can also add a little stevia to sweeten it, or you can even add some shredded coconut as well. Here's some shredded coconut. It's unsweetened, so it's 100% coconut. So those are some breakfast options. So let's look at lunch. I know a lot of people are busy, they're on the go. So one of the best things that you can do is give you some options. Well, here, these are cold cuts. Of course, I want you to have more substantial proteins, meat you're actually chewing on. But I like to have this as a backup. So I usually get like, eat about 4 or 5 of these slices of the turkey. So you have turkey slices in here, deli meat. And if you look at the content in here, 2 slices, you get 11 grams of protein and 1 gram of carbs. So 4 slices would be 22 grams of protein. So you can do that. And what I also like to do is I will put like a couple tablespoons of some guacamole avocado. I put it in there, and I even put a little bit of this mayo, chipotle mayo, which is by Primal Kitchen. So those are easy. You can make roll-ups. You can, I just double everything up and just make it into one big burrito type meat burrito. But you can roll them up in four of them, or even up to 6, so that you're getting, you know, almost 30 or 8, you can get at least 30 grams of protein. So that's another, you know, that's another easy option. You just pre-make them, roll them up, and they're good to go. So that's really easy for lunch. The other thing for lunch is you can, I'm trying to look at other things we can do. Oh, okay. So for lunch, you can have a salad, okay? And then your protein, your 3 ounces of protein. Lunch and dinner, you can do that. So you have the cold cuts. You also have your salad. One of the best things you can do is buy like a big box of, you know, pre-mixed salad mix, baby spring mix. And then what I do is I'll chop up other vegetables. I mix them all up, put it in a big bowl, mix everything up. I even add like these shredded coconut in there. I also add chia seeds in there, cucumber, celery, carrots, broccoli, you know, I even throw some spinach in there. So there's a lot of different vegetables in there in a big container. Then all you have to do is put them in smaller containers, take them with you. It's not that hard. And then just, you know, add a little bit of oil and vinegar. Don't buy the store-bought dressings. I don't care how clean it says it is or organic. Stick to oil and vinegar and maybe a little bit of lemon juice. So that's pretty easy to do, right? And then if you have cooked chicken like the night before, just put some of the chicken on there, 3 ounces, 4 ounces. So what does that look like? 3 ounces is minimum. I try to shoot for a little bit higher. 3 ounces is gonna look like a deck of cards. I usually eat a couple deck of cards. That's what it looks like for me, or a deck of cards and a half. So that way you have an idea. Chicken is probably one of the best, and chicken breast, and chicken thighs, because you are getting, it's got the beautiful amino acid profile in there, which you need for fat loss, for hormone balancing, for your immune system. So it's really important that you're eating good quality protein. So another option that you can do also is, like, Trader Joe's is my favorite place, you know? So this is something that I buy a lot of, the grass-fed beef burgers here. And this is kind of my daughter's favorite. They have chicken line burgers there as well. So for instance, this one here, it's package of 4. It's got 19 grams of protein, okay? The fat is only 6 grams. So if you're already fat adapted, this is a good source. If you're craving sugar, just once you cook this, add like 1 tablespoon of olive oil over it so that you feel satiated, you feel full. This one's a little bit higher in protein, or fats. It's 19 grams of protein, and it's 23 grams of fat. The high fat intake is going to mean that you have a higher caloric intake. However, if you're already fat adapted, meaning that you're not craving sugar, your body's already recognizes that, hey, I want protein and fat as my source, then having a higher protein amount and a lower fat amount is going to be your best bet. If you're still craving sugars, then having a higher fat intake, like in this one here, means that it's just going to help you with stabilizing blood sugar and sugar craving. So you can even make like a burger protein style, like that's what is it? It was just there. In-N-Out does. You know, they just get a lettuce wrap. I have my own little chipotle mayo in there, and I make usually 2 patties, and I put them in there, and I just wrap it, and that's a burger for me. So those are some options. So cold cut chicken. You can even have like leftover steak for lunch. For dinner, you can have fish, you can have chicken, you can have steak, you can make meatloaf, you can make fajitas. So just to give you some ideas, a lot's just really going to come in meal prepping, timing, and it really doesn't take all that much time. So if you've had your 3 meals, or maybe you've only had like, you didn't have your 100, because I always tell people at least shoot for like 90 to 100 grams of protein a day. Some good alternatives is adding chicken bone broth, and I do have that in the recommendations. Like you can just mix this. I like this company. You mix it with water, and I just blend it, and then I just heat it up in the oven, and in this, or not the oven, the stove. And here you're getting, this is almost 30 grams of protein. So you're getting a nice amino acid profile in here. If you're feeling like you haven't had enough protein, I will supplement with amino acids, and this is Amino Acid Supreme from Designs for Health, one of my favorite companies I work with, because when you're eating at least 30 to 40 grams of protein at each meal, you're gonna get your leucine, and you're requiring about at least 25 grams of leucine per meal in order not just to maintain your health, but it's to maintain muscle mass and also to grow muscle mass, because as we get older, you become anabolic resistant, so it's harder for you to hold on to muscle, and you've got to work harder. You have to do the resistant exercise. And why is that important? Because the higher your muscle mass in your body, you have lower fat mass. So your body fat's going to be lower. So a lot of people make the mistake that they go vegan and they're not having enough protein and they look emaciated. So you want to make sure that you're having enough protein. So that's a great way to supplement it with this, and also with a little bit of this chicken bone broth. Once again, there's only 120 calories in this. So if you're really concerned about calories, that's your answer there. So those are some really simple suggestions, as I mentioned, what you can have at breakfast, at lunch, and dinner. And if you're feeling like you're needing carbs, then have it in the more at the latter part of the day. So you can have like sweet potatoes, put a little bit of cinnamon. You can add a little bit of grass-fed butter on there, or drizzle it with some coconut oil. So those are some really, really easy, simple things that can make this doable. This is going to be your foundation, and just stick to this be consistent and stick to this for at least 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks until you get into the momentum of what does it feel like to feel full and satisfied but not stuffed, and also making sure that you're getting enough protein so that your body is actually repairing itself. So that's pretty simple, right? This is a true and tested way of making sure that you are getting enough protein, your hair is not falling out, you're feeling great, you're feeling energetic, you're sleeping great. And this is almost like the back end of people who start keto. They start with high fat, lower protein, and they start increasing and they're swapping. So if you're in that phase now, then this is perfect. This is the back end of a keto lifestyle template. Okay, that's about it, and hope that this helps, and I'm sure you're gonna get a lot of success with this.